Politics of oceans around the world. Oceans are vital sources of food, trade, transportation, recreation, and natural resources. They are also home to the vast majority of the planet's biodiversity. Oceans cover approximately 70% of the Earth's surface and contain 97% of its water. There are 5 major oceans around the world: the Arctic Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, and the Southern Ocean. Each ocean has its own unique features and diverse ecosystems which are maintained by a delicate balance between opposing forces. The world's oceans are an integral part of global politics, with many countries attempting to gain control over the vast amount of resources that the ocean provides. Countries have fought over different bodies of water for centuries, and different bodies of water are currently the center of disputes between various countries. Some of the most important bodies of water in today's politics are the South China Sea, Black Sea, and the Caspian Sea. The ocean has always been a center of political and economic power, and as such, many countries have tried to claim sovereignty over it. This is done through the exclusive economic zones, EEZs, and continental shelf claims. Countries that border an ocean will typically claim the waters out to 200 nautical miles from their coastlines as their own. Countries can also claim an area known as the continental shelf, which is the natural extension of a country's landmass into the ocean. The United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, governs these claims. International Law of the Sea. The International Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, is the body of rules and regulations used to govern the behavior of states and the international use of the oceans and seas. It is a multilateral treaty, which was formally proclaimed by the UN General Assembly on 14 November 1982 and entered into force on 16 December 1994. The convention has been open for signature by 193 parties, and as it is the single most important legal instrument for the regulation of the oceans and seas, it is a powerful tool for the protection of the marine environment. It is the only legally binding international ocean regime and the only treaty which regulates the construction and use of artificial structures in the oceans. Countries' conflict for sea. The most politically important area of the world's oceans is the Western Pacific. The East China Sea, the South China Sea, the Philippine Sea, and the Strait of Malacca all fall within the Western Pacific. The United States is directly involved in some of the most contentious disputes in the region. The U.S. presence in the Western Pacific is largely rooted in national security and strategic interests, as well as its desire to protect its growing influence in the region. Many countries dispute ownership of islands and islets in the Pacific, Atlantic, and Indian Oceans, including the Philippines, China, Japan, the United States, and the United Kingdom. This has led to tensions between the countries as each country tries to exert control over the areas of sea that are also claimed by the other countries. The South China Sea is the most recent dispute, which has resulted in China enforcing its claim over the area. As of 2005, the U.S. Navy has also conducted naval activities in the South China Sea, leading to tensions between the U.S. and China, as well as the other countries involved in the dispute. As a result of the increasing human population and rapid increases in the global consumption of food, industry, energy, and transportation, the demand for natural resources will continue to rise. This is expected to result in rising tensions between countries that have a large stake in the oceans and their resources. Despite the UNCLOS, there are many disputes in the oceans that have yet to be resolved. This is especially true in the Pacific. Countries that have territorial disputes include China, Malaysia, Indonesia, the Philippines, Vietnam, Papua New Guinea, and New Zealand. These disputes have been going on for years and have been particularly difficult to resolve due to their territorial size. Benefits of the sea for countries. The sea has become crucial for many countries. The sea is not only a vast storehouse of resources, but a major means of transport, trade, and tourism. As a result, many countries need to protect the seas and their resources. Some parts of the world are particularly vulnerable. They also receive export products from the sea, which include oil, natural gas, and other minerals and metals. The sea also provides countries with jobs, and have been hit by wars, pollution, and climate change. The benefits of the sea as a source of raw materials, including seafood, minerals, oil, and gas, are well known. The sea also provides a major source of renewable energy, supplying more than half of the world's energy needs. Some of the environmental benefits include the preservation of biodiversity, the provision of a habitat for many species of marine plants and animals, the prevention of erosion, and the provision of food for people.